please take a moment and put your phones away. Take your headphones out. Don't hide them behind your hair. Don't be like that. Don't be like that. Thank you. This lesson actually changes a lot of people's perspective on what math can do. That is, up till this moment, if you're a little skeptical about math and go, oh, who's ever going to use this? Your attitude might change when you see what this can do. And not too difficult. It's not the hardest thing ever. I just want to go over what we're supposed to know at this point. We're supposed to know so, ka.
Toa.
I think Toa. Sakatoa.
Get off your phona. Thank you. Soka, get off your phona. All right? Now, there is a little bit of difficulty. Let's just go over this again so it's clear. Which side of the classroom are these chalkboards on? Left, right, front, back. It depends who's looking, right? So it depends what angle you use, which one the opposite and adjacent will be. So just get ready for that. That's fine. Here you go. And here's how all that works. This is just a review of that. Sine of angle A is opposite over hypotenuse. So it's the A side, sorry, the B side over the C. Oh, sorry, A is up here. Sine is opposite over adjacent, so the A over the C. But if you were to use angle B, all those definitions change. Opposite becomes adjacent, adjacent becomes opposite. The same as if you turn around, your left becomes right, right becomes left. You can have fun with this in your mirror at home. I'm sure you've done this in the mirror where you lift your left hand and the person in the mirror lifts their right. You can stare at the mirror a long time going, what is going on here? Fun stuff. Anyways, that's the review of yesterday. It says, use that to find the length of side A. Shh. Folks, I'm not talking over you. Shh. And I'm going to do something that looks impossible. I've just flipped the page already. I've flipped the page to example 1. It says find the length of side A, and it looks impossible. If you've never seen trig in action before, when you see this question, you go, it's not possible. How could you possibly take the angle and the side and get this other side? Hold on. I just want to say a couple things, and then I'm going to answer questions or take people's answers. Step 1. Circle the angle you're talking about. If trig's going to get involved, we better make sure we know what angle we're talking about. I'm going to use the 25 because that was the angle that was given. Step 2, label the sides. What's the 12? Is it opposite? Is it adjacent? Or is it hypotenuse? Hypotenuse. That's supposed to be the easy one. That's why we did Pythagorean theorem first. You're supposed to be able to go, yep, that's hypotenuse. What side do we want? We want A. What's it called in this question? Opposite. Now, if that's a challenge for you, yes, I know that is difficult when you're first learning them, but we have to get that down pat, where we can look at that and go, okay, I'm after opposite, I have hypotenuse. Then you start singing your Christmas carol. Sokatoa, Sokatoa. Is that a Christmas carol? No, it's not. No, wait, we got to do jingle bells to it. Sakatoa, Sakatoa. Stop. Maybe you can write it down. I'm going to write it down. Sokatoa. It's decision time. Which one am I going to use in this question? I want the one that's got hypotenuse in it, because that's what I have, and it's got opposite in it, because that's what I want. Which one has, good, so. Now here comes the magic. Get ready. Reach under your chair. Shh. Reach under your chair. Grab the seat belt that's there, and just do that up for a second. because this is a wild ride, what's about to happen here. Let me write it down. Sine of A is opposite over hypotenuse. I haven't done anything yet. Yeah? We're still in the station. We're still getting the warnings from the roller coaster ride person. It's like, be aware, keep your hands and feet inside the vehicle at all times. Yeah? I'm going to start filling some things in here now. What is angle A? Shh. Huh? It's right there on the diagram. 25. What's the opposite side in my triangle? A. What's the hypotenuse in my triangle? 12. Still all seems lost. But on the bench, you got the analogy going with my little 7-year-old hockey team I coach? On the bench, jumping up and down now is your calculator going, let me in, get me in, put me in, I can do this, I can help. What's sine of 25? I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know what sine of 25 is. I have no clue. I sort of know about what the number is, but I don't know what it is. But your calculator knows, so you get out your calculator. Can I find it? Calculators, EL 531. Make sure you're in degree mode and just type in sine of 25. That's what you're supposed to do in the second half of the homework. It seems so easy. Just type it in, type it in, type it in, type it in, type it in. So you're like, yeah, I can type it in. Thanks a lot. If you're not in degree mode, we need to be in degree mode. You can always ask me. Just watch out to see what on your calculator, what it takes to get in degree mode. It's in degree mode. It says DEG at the top, so you're good. Type in sine 25 on your calculator that you grabbed. And I get 0.422618261. Okay, we just got to talk about decimal places for a second. If I want this to be accurate at the end, I better keep 4 decimal places right now. That's sort of the rule we use in grade 10. If I want it accurate to 1 decimal place by the end, I better keep 4 now, because things might change as we go along. That might seem weird to you. But if I don't stay accurate now, how's it going to stay accurate later? So 4 decimal places is the guide we give in grade 10. Is that a world guide? No, it depends on what you're doing. If you're building iPhones, you better keep all the decimal places. If you're building piece of crap chairs to put in classrooms, probably 1 decimal place is close enough. So I don't have an answer for that. So my guideline for grade 10 is take 4, 0.4226. Now I'm just going to let that sit on the screen for just a second and let you stare at what the situation is now. Because if you think you know what to do, you probably do know what to do. Just let it absorb for a second. Just stare at that long enough so my next sentence makes a giant click for you. Jackson, you have something to say? Tell us. Give it a try. Oh, it's a good move. Oh, it's a good move. He says, can I put that number over 1? And the answer is a giant yes, because now someone else has jumped off the bench into the game.
Oh, I see.
What just jumped in the game? Cross multiply just jumped into the game and said, I can help. A times 1, and I'll write A times 1, even though I hope some of you are like, I don't need to write A times 1. I know what A times 1 is, but you can write it. It's no problem. Equals 12 times 0.4226. See, I'm going to multiply it by 12, and so that's going to change where the decimal places are. That's why I need lots of decimal places to make sure it's accurate to 1 decimal place, because things are about to change. And A times 1 is just A, and then I get my calculator out, and I go 12 times 0.4226. Is that what it was? 4226? Equals, and you get a crazy fraction. Your calculator's like, ooh, do you want fractions? And you're like, no, I don't want fractions. Settle down. 5.1 5.07. I'll only keep 2 decimal places. If you're wondering why 4 decimal places, look. It was only accurate to 4, but now it's moved over 1. It's really only accurate to 3, but I only wanted 1 anyways. So is 4 too many? Yeah, it probably is too many, but better too accurate than not accurate enough. 5.07 camels? Wagon wheels? Centimeters in this question. Make sure you write that. I don't know if Max will take a mark off every time you did that in your quiz or not. I can't. I don't know what he's going to do. We'll have to see. Anyone forget to do this on the Pythagorean theorem yesterday? Well, you'll find out. He'll mark it. Did you circle it every time they didn't put units on? He did. He circled it at least. Did you mark all those quizzes already? See? Youth. Youth. Yeah, you'll get your quizzes back in just a second. I gotta record all the marks open. Those questions aren't easy. Let's not pretend that was easy. But I have good news. It's the same steps every time. So if we just keep doing it, like Pythagorean theorem, you just go, oh, it's the same every time. Just set it up, knock it down. If you practice, it's no problem. It's no problem at all. But do you have any questions about that procedure? Let's go over it. Let's go over the procedure. Circle your angle. Label your sides. Write down SOHCAHTOA and choose. Fill it in and solve. Let's try another one. Katie's getting ready to complain. You guys want to do one on your own at some point, do you? Oh, find the other side of the triangle.
Oh, wait, so
It says find the other side now. What's this side called? It's not called opposite. Adjacent. Yes, it's also called little b.
are you doing it like,
We're gonna. Oh, wait, your question. Phrase your question like this in a few minutes. Phrase your question. Couldn't we just have? Phrase it like that, okay? In just a second. Okay, good. We'll do that in a second. Now, I write down SOHCAHTOA again. This time, I have hypotenuse, and I want adjacent. Which one has the H and the A so I can solve? Ka. That's all SOHCAHTOA is. SOHCAHTOA is a guide to which one to use. So this time I'm going to use cos of A equals adjacent. Oops. I meant to write adjacent over hypotenuse and I didn't do it. Adjacent. Can you do short form? Sure you can. Over hypotenuse. What is A? How much is A? No. Big A, the angle. 25 equals adjacent's what I'm after, which is B, and hypotenuse is 12. Okay? Let's just focus on this step. Now what? Because you should be like, well, yeah, but I don't know what cos 25 is. Dan knows. Somehow Dan knows. How did you get it, Dan? On the calculator. That's a calculator step. Even Mr. Todd cannot do cos 25 in his head. I can think about it. I know some stuff about cos, and I go, it's pretty big. It's close to 1. But I don't really know what it is, right? Cos 25. How many decimal places would you like to keep? My advice is 4. In grade 10, 4 should work very nicely for you. 0.9063. Do I have enough scrolling here? I do. I've got lots of scrolling. In fact, I want to lower that, okay? I'm not changing it, so if you've copied it down, don't worry. I'm just moving it down. 9063 equals B over 12. Now what? Over 1, because then jumping up and down to the bench is a friend that you sort of liked. Most people sort of liked what happens next. What happens next? Cross multiply. B times 1. You can write B times 1. It's no problem, but really B times 1 is just B. Yeah, it's just B. Okay. B equals 12 times 0.9063. B equals 12 times 0.9063. Answer 10 6.9 centimeters. Anthony, ask your question. Couldn't we just have, once we had this,
It would be b squared minus c squared.
could have just used Pythagorean theorem. So I'm not trying to convince you should do it my way. I'm not. I'm trying to teach SOHCAHTOA today, so I took the chance to go after SOHCAHTOA again. But if you would prefer to use Pythagorean theorem after you have two sides, I love it. Especially if your quizzes were good. We'll find out in a few minutes.
Ethan didn't got cookie. He came in late, so.
Oh, because he was late. Yeah, I know. There was lots of people late, but I was late getting started, so you got away with it today. You didn't even get frowned at today. Yes? Scroll down, he says. How much charge do I have in my microphone? Oh, good, lots. I forgot to plug it in to charge. I was worried. All right, friends. How many more do I got to do? 2 and 3. But we're going to go a little faster now. We're going to speed things up just a little bit. Not to confuse you, but to go, just to convince you, this doesn't have to take that long. Once you get good at SOHCAHTOA, it should happen pretty quickly. Do you need more time there? Example 2. Turn to example 2. Is this messed up? That's not what yours says, is it? Yours says, find A. Does it say that? 25 and 12? Oh, that's not the right example. That's why. Oh, here we go. Is this the one?
Yeah.
All right. All right, all right, all right. Let's challenge ourselves. What are the steps? What's step 1? If you get it wrong, I'm going to say yes, even if you mention a different step. So you can just go total freedom and just yell out steps, and I'll just tell you, I'll get you in order. What's the first step in these? Circle the angle you're going to use. We're going to use 35. Second step. Label the sides. Shh. I'm talking. What's this one? What's the 15? Hypotenuse. If you want short forms, if you're tired of writing the whole words, yep. That's hypotenuse. This is adjacent. He's good at it, folks. I know why he's good at it. He showed me. I saw his homework. He did virtually everything in the homework. And the other one's opposite. That's the way most people label them too. They do hypotenuse because they can really tell what that one is. Then they go over beside the angle and go the one beside the angle is the adjacent, and then across is opposite. Good. There's 2 of the steps. See? Things like this are difficult, but if there's a set of steps, if there's an algorithm, is the fancy math word for it, then we just have to practice and we'll be okay. So, Shamar's got the next step. What's the next step? Write down SOHCAHTOA. It's whoa. My active board has had enough. My active board's like, it's Friday. I've had enough.
I'm trying to get her water. I have to get her his lesson. I am listening. I'm trying to.
Shh. You know I'm not allowed to say shut up on the videos. I would never do that.
That sounds like you, Mr. Pod.
So I won't say that.
You will say it.
Okay. Which side do I want? I want adjacent. What do I have?
Hypotenuse and
Yeah, but what, sides-wise? I've got, shh. See, you see what happens? You're talking, so they go, oh, he's not getting mad at her. We'll talk too. Could everybody be, shh. What side do I have? What am I after? Which one has those 2 things? Ka. Cosine of 35. If you're keeping right up, you're noticing I've skipped a step this time. I think this is a little easier if you skip that first step. If you just jump right in and go, oh, I got it. Cosine 35 equals, what's the adjacent? Nothing. We don't know it. A, that's okay. And the hypotenuse? 15. Who's got the next step? Now what?
0.8191.
We're going to put it over 1. You can put it over 1 now if you want. He says we want to put it over 1. He's a step ahead, and that's fine. Put it over 1. But what's before that? Ask that question in a second. She asked, do you have to put it over 1? And I want to answer that in just a second. Put that in your calculator. Your calculator has to get involved here to do cos 35. Because like I say, even Mr. Todd doesn't know what cos 35 is.
0.819.
8191. 8192, actually. Ooh, that was a good year. 8192. I'm going to answer Isles' question. Says, do you have to put it over 1? I'm like, no. It is possible you're so good at these questions, you don't need the over 1. What I'm saying is, trust me for just a little while, and let's just do over 1 for a while until you just feel so good about it, like, you know what? I know better than Mr. Todd. I can do it without putting it over 1. Okay? Make sure you're that good at it. Yeah? Yeah, but I rounded it, right? 8191, and then you look at the next digit, and that decides. And if it's a 5 or more, you go up. If it's less than 5, then you stay down. Yeah? Next, cross multiply. A times 1, which, I don't know. I'm hoping for you that you don't need to write down A times 1 anymore. If you do, good, but I don't know. A times, it's A. A times 1 is A. And then the other side is 15 times 0.8192. Jam that in my calculator, which, by the way, I've even got another shortcut. The 0.8192 is already on the screen. I could just hit times 15, and it takes the answer and multiplies by 15. That's a pretty cool feature. That's the first really cool feature they put on calculators. Like, hey, if you just want to keep going, just hit times 15, and it'll do it for you. And I get 12.3. Wagon wheels.
No, meters.
Meters. Thank you. Got to write it, right? Just picture yourself going to Lowe's. How much wood do you need? I need 12.3. And they're like, 12.3 feet? Meters? Inches? Centimeters? Miles? Get out of here. You're like, oh, I'll go back and check. I don't know. Meters. Yeah, you got to know. Got to know what you need. Did it say find the other side? Which way would you do it now? Let me put that on there, 12.3. Would you now use SOHCAHTOA to get the other side, or would you use Pythagorean theorem? So we'll do this one with Pythagorean theorem. We did the other one with SOHCAHTOA. This time we'll say, okay, you could do it with Pythagorean theorem too. So, who's got the formula? What's that? He says c squared equals a squared plus b squared. I believe he's good enough to do it that way. Am I going to be adding or subtracting? That's the whole question. Am I going to be subtracting? I'm going to be subtracting here, so I'm going to go b squared equals 15 squared minus 12.3 squared. Were the quizzes really good, Max? Yeah. So I hope most of you are like, yeah, I can do that. That I did. So then your calculator does the rest. Listen, friends. Watch what the calculator can do. Let me show you a grade 11 move. Yeah? Watch this. Calculator can handle it. 15 squared minus 12.3 squared. Individual steps. Calculator's like, I got it. I got you. You don't have to. Saves you a little time, though. Jump all the way to, I get 73.71, I think. And then the last step, anybody who was confused by this, what do you do now? The square root. The square root exactly designed to handle this question. And I can do it right on my screen. I can just go square root and then press the answer button. Look how cool I am. That's math cool. I didn't even write it down. I just put square root of whatever the last thing was. Don't have to if that makes you nervous. I'm just giving you some shortcuts. And it does something crazy, which I switch to decimal and get 8.6 meters. Is that what you're saying, Isla? Get out of the way? Oh, I thought you were telling me to get out of the way. Because I'm fat and you can't see by me. Is that what it is? Do we have this discussion before?
I didn't want to say anything, but I thought so.
Max hasn't been back since September. He's like, I noticed that you've been having a little too much pizza. Question? You did subtract. You moved it over. You just did it in a different order. You eventually did subtract. Okay. Yeah. What's that? It's unfair for me to play in basketball games. No, here's why. My knowledge of quadratics and of trigonometry makes it completely unfair for me to play.
Not your knee problem. So I thought it was, sorry.
It's just a little opposite over adjacent, a little x squared, and boom, in every time. So it's just not fair. Yeah? I wanted it to be a competitive game, so I didn't play. That's right. No. Was there another question here? One more song. One more time. One more time. Oh, that's just the same thing again. I did that. New triangle. Example 3, right? 3? Okay. Let me land this plane, please. Shh. Adam. Snyder. Shh. Challenge yourself. Don't shout it out. Joseph, don't shout it out. What? Don't shout it out. What's the first step?
Circle the angle.
You shouted it out. I just said don't shout it out. Yeah, but I said don't shout it out. What's... Okay, who knew the first step last time? Anthony, don't shout out this answer. He knows this answer. I know he knows this answer. Isla, you going to answer?
No.
Oh. Isla, you have a question? No, the 90 won't help you because the 90 is the same in all the triangles, all the questions we're going to do. So the 90 is not helpful. Because in every right angle triangle, there's a 90. We want to do this different triangle, which happens to have a 40. Okay? So the 40 decides what right triangle I have. So you got to use the 40. Perfect. She's just rephrased it. You can't use the 90 because all right triangles have a 90. We got to use something that's new. That's a good answer. Did I give you enough time? Anthony's not going to shout it out. He's going to think about it. He knows the answer. I know he knows the answer. What's the next step? Figure out those positions. Label those sides. Which one do you like first? I like going after hypotenuse first because most people can recognize it from a mile away. They're like, hey, hypotenuse, right? Yeah, I remember you. From the Bob from the consulate, yeah. Little a is what? Adjacent. Adjacent just means beside. Look beside you. The person sitting beside you and say, hi, adjacent. Small a is adjacent this time, but that doesn't always have to happen. And then this one's opposite. Who knows the next step? Don't shout it out. Jackson? Write down SOHCAHTOA. Do you always have to write down SOHCAHTOA? If we watched Max with 4 extra years experience with this, and he did this question, would he write down SOHCAHTOA? No, he might not. But you should. Grade 10s and 11s should definitely write down SOHCAHTOA. Which one now? I want adjacent. I have opposite. Which one? TOA.
Mr. Todd,
No, it's okay.
there seems to be an issue.
Wait, hold on, Jackson. Hold on. There is an issue. This one has a little quirk to it. But hang on. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. We're going to do in TOA. So 10, 40, What's the opposite side? 10. What's the adjacent side? A. Now listen, friends. If you don't use cross multiply, you better know what you're doing. Those people are like, do I have to put it over 1? No, but you better know what you're doing. Cross multiply is there to go, hey, don't worry. If you're a little worried, what is the problem here, Jackson? What was the issue? The A's in the bottom. The unknowns in the denominator. Cross multiply people don't care. They're like, I don't care. I don't care. What, tan 40? We need that first. Calculator? Tan 40 equals 8391. If you're not an over 1 person, you might be a little confused. It's an A. Now I'm fat and my writing's terrible. That's what, according to Isla. Me too. Yeah. What do I do now? No, you do know. No, it's okay. No, look. Over 1, yeah. Because as soon as you do that, cross multiplies in the game. And we love cross multiply. What was the other name for it? Shamar, what was our other name for it? Oh, OA. Oh, okay, yeah. Here's how we know. You go, okay, what do I want? A. What do I have? O. OA. TOA. Those letters. So SOHCAHTOA is more than what you think it is. It's what sine, cos, and tan are, but it's also a guide to which one I should use. If I want to work with O and A, then I want tan. That's why there's 3 of them, because there's all different combinations that could happen depending on what information you have. Cross multiply this time.
But this is where my issue comes in.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to cross multiply. And then we'll talk about by the way, I completely wrote that wrong. I was so busy getting my next joke ready that I wrote that completely wrong. And I wrote the extra step this time. 10 times 1, which is 10. Hopefully you know that. Jackson says, ooh. Shh. Now what? How do I solve this thing? 0.8391 times A is 10. I got to do the opposite of multiplying by 0.8391. What's the opposite of multiplying by 0.8391? Divide by. So you just got to do an extra step here. And I'll switch to red after messing up my hair. Did you see me touch the screen there? My new active board in the other room has touch screen. So I just touched the screen, getting out of habit. I switched colors here on purpose to get some festive red into your lesson. 10 divided by 0.8391. I don't know what it is. 10 divided by, I'm going to use my answer button because I'm so clever, 11.9. Wagon wheels? Meters. Does that one say find the other side too?
Yeah.
This time I'm going to go back to using SOHCAHTOA. You could use Pythagorean theorem. I just want to show both ways. Now, just in case you're convinced this takes a long time, I'm going to do this one a little bit faster to go. Once you're good at these shouldn't take long. Ready? Going after the hypotenuse this time. Sine 40 equals opposite over hypotenuse, which is called little c. Find sine 40 using my calculator. Somebody else complaining about my writing? 6428. 6428. That is a C. See? C is for cookie. You can't see the C? That is very strange. Because my pen's in the way there? Is that why? There. Is that better? Stay right there. Very bossy. Are you an older sister, Isla?
What?
Are you an older sister?
Yeah.
Oh, I can tell. You're very bossy. No, I made it as a compliment.
You can't mean that. I have two younger siblings.
I have 2 daughters who have younger brothers. Like Max has an older sister, and it was handy having a bossy sister around. She kept him in line, and then I got that same combination again. An older sister with a younger brother. I don't complain about them a lot. I complain about them constantly.
That's because everybody who has kids
Well, it's constantly. It's always. Jackson, question. I could have. I definitely said that. I said, you go ahead and use Pythagorean theorem, but because today I'm teaching SOHCAHTOA, I'm going to do SOHCAHTOA. Yeah, but yeah, you go ahead and use Pythagorean theorem. It works. Put this over 1, cross multiply. Now what? Last step? Divide by that multiplier out front. And I'm about to wrap this lesson up because I know I'm interrupting your conversations. That was sarcasm. 15.6. Meters. Will I take marks off if you don't write the units? No, I'll just be so darn angry that, I don't know.